Hello, this is Mike with SEMA, the Senior Insurance Marketing Association, and today we're going to take a quick look at a Part D visual, and this is something I do with my clients when I'm sitting with them one-on-one. So rather than try and explain Part D using a chart or a book, I would illustrate to them on a blank sheet of paper. Now this is not CMS approved, so you cannot leave it behind, but you can illustrate to them and write out for them as long, again, as you don't leave it. So I pull out a blank sheet of paper and I would write at top, example $20 drug. Just as a side note for you watching the video, we are working with 2014 numbers, and don't forget to remind your client there's a potential deductible of $310 if you have a Part D program you're representing with the full deductible. So I'd say, Mr. Client, there's two parts to your Part D drug program. There's you and there's the insurance company. So let's say you have a $20 drug, you go get filled. For example, you have a $5 copay. Your insurance company pays $15, there's your $20, and you keep on going. And this will continue until you reach $2,850. This is your initial coverage limit. Now, side note, I wouldn't write initial coverage limit, but for you watching the video, I included it in there. So there you have a $2,850, and this is when you actually get to that donor hole or coverage gap. So once you reach that number, you'll fall into it, and you won't get out until you reach $4,550 out of pocket. A lot of my clients will see this, and they'll say, well, that's a difference of $1,700. That's not too bad. Well, that's not how it works, so we're going to cross that out. When you get to initial coverage limit, Medicare only looks at the money you put into the till, not the insurance company. So let's say, to use round numbers, you spent $1,000 in copays. Your insurance company spent $1,850, so there's your $2,850. Your coverage gaps can be from your $1,000 to your $4,550 or $3,550. But it doesn't stop there, because now you actually have discounts when you hit the coverage gap. 52.5% on name brand drugs and 28% on generic drugs. However, when you buy name brand drugs, 50% of the cost will actually count towards your coverage gap. So if you have a $100 drug, even though you only paid $50, the entire $100 goes against the coverage gap for you to get you out of it quicker. So your coverage gap, the amount you'll spend in there, it's, in this example, it's somewhere between $1,000 and $3,550. So it's hard to say because it depends on how many name brand drugs you're taking, because they'll help you out through the gap. Generic drugs do not do that. So that's Part D in a nutshell, and that's how I explain it to my clients. Still clear as mud to a lot of them, but they at least had a better understanding on when they hit the coverage gap and how to get through it and such. So some other things I'd go over with my clients: October is National Donut Hole Month, and most people who hit the coverage gap don't get out because they hit in October. They don't have enough, they don't spend enough in drugs for the remaining months to get out, but every January it will reset. They will receive statements so they can track, they'll get those usually monthly if they're buying drugs on a monthly basis, and they'll see how far they are from the donor hole. They do have $4 self-pay generic drugs. Don't use them on their Part D plan, self-pay, and then it won't count towards their donut hole. It's not much, but every little bit helps. And Social Security and some states have assistance programs for people on Part D. So that's, again, was an illustration I showed with my clients. Hopefully you could use it and help explain to your clients how Part D works. For more information, if you have questions, visit us at SEMA at SEMA-net.com.